The community of Dundurn, just south of Saskatoon, is reliving a bit of its past these days. The town's museum wants to recognize the life of Charles Parmer, a man many believe rode with the infamous Jesse James gang. It's a story about the wild, wild West and a quiet Canadian community a world away. Dundurn may have its own connection to the legendary Jesse James. Meet Charles Parmer. Born in Ohio, he homesteaded at Dundurn around the turn of the century. Many believe this is a younger Charlie Parmer. If so, the prairie pioneer may have had a much more colorful past. They were post-Civil War outlaws. The Jesse James gang robbed banks and trains in the late 1800s and killed a lot of people in the process.
The stories were that if old Charlie told you to get, you'd better be going.
Alwyn Morgan eventually came to own the land that belonged to Charlie Parmer. He also owns Charlie Parmer's gun.
Notches, if you want to see those notches, there's 5 of them there. Now, whether that means 5 rattlesnakes or 5 coyotes or 5 anything, I don't know. I don't think anybody does.
This is what's left of the old Parmer property. Charles Parmer was already 66 years old when he moved to Dundurn with his son Earl in 1905. They lived in a sod shack, and the stories have circulated among the locals ever since.
Well, he was quite a character. Pretty rough-looking old guy.
No one around today knew Charlie Parmer better than John Bethune. Did he ever admit to you that he rode with Jesse's gang?
No, they didn't admit nothing. They were funny guys. He didn't trust everybody. He wouldn't tell you too much. He worked with Buffalo Bill down the States, South Dakota.
They did talk about that.
Oh, yeah.
Even though Charles never admitted to riding with the James gang, most folks around here have heard and seen enough to be convinced.
Well, I'll tell you one little story.
Harry Friesen is too young to remember Charles Parmer, but like most people in Dundurn, he's heard the stories.
There was a noise outside the door one night when Earl and Charlie, the two of them, were sitting around talking, and they told somebody to come in, and about 3 times, and nobody came in, so finally they whipped out their 6 shooters and bang, 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 and they went to bed. And the next morning, they found a pig laying dead outside the door.
Salesmen and even a few neighbors are said to have been run off this land after a sample of Charlie's sharpshooting. Arnold Walters was only a lad when he helped Earl Parmer deliver some hay for his horses. He says the younger Parmer admitted that day that his dad did ride with Jesse James.
That was a fascinating afternoon. I thought it was a lot of it was fantasy, but apparently some of it was truth.
Many of the stories surrounding Charlie Parmer's life are just that. Some people even believe there's robbery money hidden somewhere out here. But no one has ever been able to prove Charlie Parmer in fact rode with the James gang. Still, how he lived after his time in the Wild West may be a clue to his past.
No, they had the trap door in the front. Anybody coming up with the door, they'd fall in the basement. Oh yeah, they didn't trust anybody. Well, they always had a gun handy. They slept in the old soddy and in the house when they lived there, and they had a gun under the pillow all the time.
It was -40 in 1935 when Charlie Parmer was buried right here on Christmas Day in the Dundurn Cemetery. He was 96 years old. Even the newspaper at the time recognized this legend. Dundurn wants to make sure it's a legend that's not forgotten.
Recognizing that they were part of history of the community, and I'm not sure whether it's the outlaw portion or the character of them, but it's history and folklore, and we want to explore both parts of it.
Perhaps a headstone or a landmarker or a write-up in the town's museum. Whatever the tribute, Dundurn wants to make sure Charlie Parmer, bandit or pioneer, has some small place in history. Well, quite a story. There have been so many tales about old Charlie, we never have enough time to tell them all. But it sure makes you wonder. And from one mystery to the next, later in the hour, we'll explore Moose Jaw's gangster tunnels.